Hi, and welcome back to meetrabbits.org. In the last video, I talked about the Champagne D'Argent Rabbit breed and why I've brought this breed into my rabbitry recently. There were a few things on there that, I just hadn't been through yet because I've only had them for about 6 months and we're just starting to breed with them. So I wasn't able to personally speak to some of those points, even though, these are things that the breed overall is known for. For example, them being good mothers, manageable animals, how the litters go in terms of raising. So this is Peony, and she delivered her litter 17 days ago, so we're just over 2 weeks. It was a litter of 4. She's a first-time mother. That litter size is maybe a little on the small side. However, I have to say, I think there are a few factors at play here, and it doesn't concern me. The first factor being that she's a first-time mother, so 4 for a first-time mother is not a bad litter size, and it's very typical of all the rabbit breeds, first-time mothers, to have smaller size litters. After you get like 3 litters, if your litter size is staying small, that's when I would maybe think about, is this doe up to par? Is she maybe needing replacing? But we are certainly not at that point at all with Peony right now. The other reason that I suspect this litter could have been on the smaller side is that we had a lot of high heat here in central Massachusetts this summer. A lot of days over 90 degrees, a lot of consecutive days over 90 degrees. And that's not really our typical weather. We usually will get a few. We might get a heat wave here and there of 3 days of 90, but that's really the limit of it. So, I'm not entirely surprised. I do suspect that all of the bucks are probably coming out of a little bit of heat sterility. I wouldn't say they're completely sterile, but I do think it probably affected their reproduction. And I do think that probably contributed to the size of this litter too. So overall, I'm really happy with it. Peony, she made a beautiful nest all on her own. She didn't need any coaxing or cajoling from me. She delivered in the nest, she cleaned up well, and she's taking care of the baby. She's just been a champ. I haven't had to do anything for these babies. They are black when they're born, and I've just taken the nest box out, so they're kind of cuddled up here. A little hard to see too, but these guys are real chonkers. They're really a handful. There's only 4 of them, so they're getting plenty of her good rich mother's milk, and she's taking good care of them. So again, it's all just going really well. As far as her temperament as a mother, handling, managing, she's been perfectly fine. Day 1, I went in there, checked out the nest, tried to get a quick count to see how many were in there, and she wasn't fazed at all. She's just back to her old self. Probably, I would say, even a little on the friendlier side than she was before. She's a friendly, calm rabbit. But, every morning I come to feed her, and she's just like Rose. She's a brick at the feed dish. And if you want to get feed in that dish, a lot of times I have to physically move her. So, again, she's not bothered at all. She did a great job delivering, made a wonderful nest, knew where to give birth to these kits. Everything just went really well. Rose, on the other hand, even though she is my favorite rabbit, we're having a little bit of an issue with her, and the issue with her is that I'm having a little difficulty getting her to lift and breed. She was a miss when I bred Peony. I did breed Peony and Rose together. So, in an ideal world, she would also have a litter in here, but she doesn't yet. I have just exposed her over the last couple of days to Toussaint, one of my bucks. And she just doesn't seem that willing to lift. The first day she was a little more willing. I put her in the next day just to try and cover my bases because I wasn't seeing fall-offs. And she really tucked under, so that could mean she's bred. It could mean that she's just not interested, and we'll keep trying. She's also a first-timer, a young doe. So again, I'm not getting too concerned yet at this point, but that's how things are going with them. I'm really determined to get her breeding and hoping she does as well as Peony and these litter sizes come up a little bit, and then I'll be a really happy camper with them. But that's it. That's our update. The kits look great. Mom's been great. The only one thing I will say that I noticed is this little one that I'm holding here in my hand does look like Maybe had a touch of nest box eye. The eyes are open, so I'm not really concerned about it. Probably going to throw a little triple antibiotic on it anyway, just because it won't hurt. But I'm figuring out that because these are born black and the eyes are also dark, you know, they're a dark brown, that's not as much contrast as I get in like the lighter coated, the whiter rabbits. So I just feel like I personally need to make a little more of an effort to look a little closer for nest box eye. But you know, that's just a management thing, no big deal, easy peasy, easy thing to solve. So that's my update so far on the Champagne D'Argents and how they are as mothers, and we'll continue to follow and update as we go.